I hope your 2022 is off to a great start. If one of your resolutions is to land your dream job, stay tuned because I got some information that may get you closer to being hired. Also, you're going to want to stay until the end because I have some bonus info that could provide you more tools you can use to impress that hiring manager. Welcome to another episode of Benefits Basics, where we unpack VA education benefits and walk you through how to make the most of the benefits you've earned through your military service. We are live once a week on the GGU Military Facebook group and military.ggu.edu. My name is Keith Ravenel. I'm a retired 24-year Air Force veteran, current student at GGU, and host of Benefits Basics. Today, we will discuss interview skills, but before we begin, I want to remind you all to please leave a comment and let us know your thoughts about today's episode. Your comments help strengthen our veteran community by sharing information so we all grow together. Some of you may already be aware of the various employment services offered by the VA, but if not, I got your back. The Transition Assistance Program, also known as TAP, is a program that provides information, resources, and tools to service members and their loved ones to help prepare them for the move from military to civilian life. Service members usually attend TAP 1 year prior to separation and 2 years prior to retiring. But a side note, you can attend TAP multiple times. The program lasts a couple days and contains a ton of great information to include mock interviews. So you definitely want to hang around until that final day or until the last few hours because some people tend to leave a little bit early. Now, another program, VRE, is a job placement and employment program with the goal of getting veterans with service-related disabilities employed. The primary objective of this program is to assist you with acquiring the skills, degree, or certifications you need to locate suitable employment that's compatible with your service-related disabilities. You must have at least a 10% disability rating in order to qualify for that program. Now, I bring up VRE because if you are eligible for the program, you will not only receive help preparing for interviews, but you will also get tools to help you with the job searches, help writing your resume, and help determining if you're eligible for veterans preference with the job you're applying for. Now, we have a VRE episode of Benefits Basics that I encourage you all to go and check out if you would like a little bit more information about that program. Now, let's get into the interview here. What I first want you to do is know your strengths and weaknesses. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about that. During the interview process, it's likely that the hiring manager will ask you to describe your strengths and weaknesses at some point. And you're probably wondering, how do I list my strengths without sounding like I'm bragging? And then on the other hand, how do I list my weaknesses without jeopardizing my chances of getting that job? When making a list of strengths, be sure to include a range of strengths, like including knowledge-based skills, your transferable skills, soft skills, and your personal traits to demonstrate your versatility. Some examples of those are creative, versatile, focused, and dedicated. With your weaknesses, being able to identify areas of improvement demonstrates that you are a well-rounded candidate. Some weakness examples may be words like too detail-oriented, extremely introverted, and a particular software. Make a list of those strengths and weaknesses, but instead of just listing or rambling them off to your interviewer, what you want to do is craft those words into a compelling story that sort of ties into what you can bring to that position. For example, let's say your strengths are being a team player and problem solving. You may speak on those strengths by saying things like, I've always excelled at working in groups and find that solving problems with teams is one of my strongest attributes. Another thing going into an interview is to know whether it's in person or online. The COVID pandemic has drastically increased the use of online interviews. So you're going to want to make sure you have a solid internet connection and know what software the hiring manager is using to conduct the interview. Some popular software are Zoom, Skype, and Harvard. You also want to pay attention to that dress appearance. Regardless of the interview, if it's online or in person, you're going to want to dress for success. My best advice, dress for an online interview the same way you would as an in-person interview. If the company is formal, wear a jacket and a tie for men or a suit jacket for women. If the organization is more laid back, maybe you want to wear a business casual shirt or a blouse. Punctuality is also important. You want to wake up early to get dressed and mentally prepared. You're probably already going to be a little bit nervous, so it's best not to add to that nervousness by having to rush to your interview all flustered and sweaty. And also be sure to get a good night's rest so you wake up feeling refreshed and ready to be the best version of yourself. Last thing I'll touch on for the preparation is knowing your resume. The hiring manager has no doubt looked over your resume, so be prepared to speak about those past experiences. Now let's talk about once you're in that room with that hiring manager. You want to make a personal connection with the employer. Of course, you want to take care of the basics like saying hello, shaking hands, but after that, you want to use your charm and personality to become a little bit more memorable. You don't want to just, be another number. You want to actively listen, engage with the hiring manager, because listening can help figure out what's important to the employer and also prevent you from saying something silly or asking like an irrelevant question. And speaking of questions, you should also come prepared with a short list of real questions that can help you make a good decision about the job if it comes to that. Try to avoid the kind of simple questions that you could easily find that information on the company's homepage. For example, you may shoot a question like, can you give me examples of projects I'd be working on? Or maybe something like, how would you describe the work environment here? Is the work typically collaborative or more independent? This shows you are interested in knowing about the culture and exactly what your day-to-day responsibilities will be. All right, so the interview's over. You leave feeling like, man, I crushed it. And I hope you do. So now it's time for you to sit and wait and just see what happens. Of course not. We're not sitting and waiting. What I want you to do is follow, add a little insurance to your job selection. One thing you can do is immediately send a thank you email to the employer. This email can be a short message thanking the employer for the opportunity and reiterating your desire to join their team. You could also add a little more to the email by reminding the employer of all your good points. And if you haven't heard from the employer in, let's say, a week, you should probably email or call to inquire about the selection process. A simple, hey, this is Isaiah Gray. I interviewed the blank position last week and I'm following up to see how the selection process is going. You could also take this time to reiterate again your desire to join the team. All right. I know I just gave you a whole lot to think about in a short amount of time. So feel free to play this again if you miss anything, because I'm rooting for you to get that job you want. As a small bonus for sticking around with me until the end, I want to give you all a third program sponsored by the VA to help with job placement. The Veterans Employment and Training Services, or VETS for short, is a VA program that provides veterans and family members with employment resources and advice. For more information about the VETS program, TAP, or VRNE, or any other veteran employment resources, please visit www.va.gov. Hopefully, I was able to provide you all with some valuable information today, and please spread the word if you know about any veterans who may benefit from this info. Again, my name is Keith Ravenel. Thank you all for tuning in, and as always, pump the positivity.